Hello everyone. Squad. Multiplayer platform game. Multiplayer first-person shooter game. Fairly realistic. We're looking at the helicopters tonight on version 2.4 of Squad, which is just released the other day. This includes joystick support for the first time for the helicopters. So until now I've avoided them because flying with a keyboard and mouse combination just doesn't do it for me. You're going to fly helicopters, you fly with sticks. That's the way I see it. Now, let's get it into the settings and I'll show you what it does. In the controls, you have helicopter controls and you have helicopter access now, which lets you set up your sticks and your pedals and whatnot. Collective is there as well. The curves I've got there, for me, deliver the sharpest response I can get from the game, which still isn't fantastic. The yaw control is very, very dull. The collective response is extremely dull. It's not crisp enough at all. Anyway, we'll have a look. There's 3 helicopters available. There's the Puma HC2 for UK forces. There is the UH-60 Black Hawk, which is for Americans and Canadians, and for the others you get the MI8. I've tried them all. They do feel slightly different, but not to any great deal, I wouldn't think. It could be just my perception of them, but there appears to be a little bit of difference, but not a lot. They're still all limited by the same dull controls. So let's have a look. I'll load up one of the helicopters and we'll go through it. Just get into the training area. Spawn at the helipad area. There we are, 2 helicopters. Externally the models don't look too bad. They're reasonable for a game type of thing it is. It's not what we're looking at tonight. We're looking at how things fly. Now, there's not much in the way of easy to use free look controls. In fact, the controls don't work at all until the engine's started. Basic cockpit, there's not much in the way of system representation at all. Started up. What you see is what you get, basically. You also get, which I find is actually not that useful, is a landing camera, which is it points straight down. It just helps lose your orientation, really. Anyway, our engine's spooled up. Controls are centered. So let's see what happens. Let's just take off. Flying collective. You see the collective bar there on the screen on the left there, rising. The line is your point of buoyancy, your hover point. It's the same in them all. Once you get to that point, you start to lose the ground, and up she comes. Right. Now, there is no indication of torque. You can rattle the collective up and down, you can know when you need to change your yaw and put your pedals. The collective response, you can see, there you go, is slow. If you're into helicopters like I am, and are looking for doing some realistic low level up-there flying, combat flying, you're going to be, I don't really want to say this in a bad way, but you're going to be disappointed as you don't have a quick enough response in your collective to get you out of situations or to do quick stops and J-turn landings and things like that in any sort of accurate way. It's just not responsive enough. Let's get it back in the water side. I'll show you what I mean. The collective is just dull. It's slow to respond, positive or negative. Let's do a pedal turn. That's your maximum yaw rate, right there. And it doesn't seem to be effective at all when you're moving at any sort of speed above 10 knots. It doesn't seem to do much at all. It works, but it's very, very limited. The flight model is basic, on the basic level of basicness. It's working with it. If you're just a gamer and you don't really know how to work your helicopter, how helicopters work, probably be fine for you. Cyclic response, the curves I've got set, it's reasonably crisp. That's the only plus point. The rest of it's just really too dull to be exciting. Good use out of it, in my opinion. Now, I've been studying helicopter flight since the early 80s. I've got flying models, helicopters since then, and time and full size as well. I also write flight dynamic models for like Gear Flight Simulator for helicopters and fixed wing. So I'm familiar with the way things are done with simulation, but this just isn't simulations. It's just a basic. It goes up, it goes down, it goes left, it goes right. It's not really a flight model. I can see. To improve it, don't knock it, the whole of the squad itself is actually pretty well done. This is letting it down. This isn't on a par with the rest of the features you have. If they want to keep it basic so everybody can have a go at flying helicopters, that's fine. But maybe they should take a tip out of the armour series and have the advanced flight model option for those who want to fly properly, or those who can't fly properly, or those who want to learn how to fly properly, so they can do a bit more advanced manoeuvres and fly it a bit more tactically. Because at the moment this is just a, if you're moving forward fine, but if you want to manoeuvre, you're going to be caught short. You're just going to get a set target basically. There we go. All three helicopters operate basically the same way. None of them particularly exciting in that respect. You know, it could be, they could still do a lot more with it and still keep it fairly simple to fly, but at the moment it's just not really what I would say is acceptable. you are flying though, the objects are solid. You can lose your blades on your tail, on buildings, on trees, and basically anything else. So you still have to think about what you're doing because you're going to crash it. As far as players that can support multiplayer's gunner positions on the side doors, if you're going to be flying to tight spots, those guys, if you communicate with them, would be handy so you can actually see right about your helicopter, because the view option system isn't great at the minute. I haven't tried it with any sort of head tracking, but this is on a hat control and this is what I get. So it's not an axis as such, it's an on-off. The hat is an axis, but it's reading it as a key. It's not reading it as proportional. Anyway, so that's basically it. There's 3 helicopters, Puma, Mi-8 and UH-60 Magpul. Still needs a bit of work. Good for they've got sighted including joystick support, but still needs a bit of work. If you're thinking of trying it, if you use a multiple setup where your pedals, collective and cyclic are all separate USBs, it will not work at the minute. It'll only work with a single USB setup. I'm using the Proflight Trainer Puma. I'll put a link in the video description for that, so you can see what it is if you don't know what it is already. You probably will, but you might not. But if you want to try it, then you've only got one USB supported item at the moment. So there we go. I might have upset people with this, might not. I'm thick-skinned. So thank you for watching.